Welcome to Let's Just Talk podcast. My name is Victoria Damilare Ajao. I'm a social and personality psychologist, and I'm so happy to have you in my corner. Have a seat. Let's talk. This podcast exists because of you. There's a massive gap between what we know about mental health and what we do about it, especially in this part of the world. I'm talking about in the African community, in Nigeria, to be exact. We've been taught to spiritualize things that need therapy. We call anxiety overthinking. We call depression the spirit of sadness. We call trauma the past. And what do we say? We tell people to move on, to get over it. Meanwhile, people are suffering in silence and they are not able to tell anybody about it. In our WhatsApp group, family groups, churches, communities, people are posting beautiful things online, beautiful pictures, social media presence, but are we actually okay as a people? This show is me refusing to be quiet. This show is me giving us opportunity to talk about this struggle that we go through as a people. Every episode of this show, we are going to be talking about mental health in a way that is practical, that is realistic, no jargons, no over spiritualizing anything. We are going to be calling things their real name. This podcast is meant for people who look like us, who live in the condition that we live in. Come on, take a look at Nigeria. It's not everybody that gets to experience this on a daily basis. So this podcast is designed for us. Today is episode 1, and I want us to start from the very beginning. By beginning, I mean why we are having this show in the first place, why we have not been talking. Reason why we have been so silent about our mental struggle. So let me paint a picture to you. A young lady, let's call her Tommy, a 25, 26 years old lady living in Lagos. She has a good job, she has a car, she's doing well. Nice Instagram page, posting outfit pictures, a day in my life, get ready with me. She's a Christian, she goes to church. She's what we will call doing well. But every morning, she wakes up and there is a weight on her chest, like something heavy sitting right there. And she does not feel like getting out of bed. Not because she's lazy, but she gets up anyways. She goes to work, she performs, she acts normally. But the whole time, there is this emptiness, this flatness, like she's watching her life through a glass wall and she can't feel any of it. She tries to pray it away. She fasts. But the weight won't lift, it won't go away. She tries to tell her mom about it. And what did the mom say? Tommy, do you know what I went through to give you the life that you have now? Do you know how many of your mates are looking for what you're doing like you? My dear, we didn't kneel down and thank God. You have a lot to be grateful for. She tries to talk to her friends too. They tell her, Tommy, you are living in your head. Try going out more. All this is in your head. So what did she do? She stopped talking. She stopped telling people about it. She keeps performing, she keeps posting, she keeps doing all the things she used to do. But the weight won't lift. It gets heavier. It stays with her. Now I want to ask you something. How many Tommy do you know? Because if we are being honest, which is what this whole podcast is about, honesty. I have been Tommy more than once in my life. I've experienced this. And I believe you have too. The silence in our community around mental health is not a minor cultural thing. It is a major issue. It is costing people more than what you can imagine. It's costing people their peace, their relationships, their productivity, in most cases, their lives. Why are we so quiet about mental health? I'm going to be giving you 3 reasons why we are this quiet. Now, these reasons is not a blame game. It's not to blame your parents or the culture or your pastors. No. It's us trying to understand what is going on, because you can't really fix what you don't understand. Reason number 1, we've been taught to be strong from a very young age. They teach us that the best way to handle difficult feelings was to suppress it, to move on, and act like nothing happened. Remember when you were a child, you cried too much, they tell you to shut up before they give you something to cry about. As a man, you are scared. What did they say? As a man, you're not supposed to show your emotions. You're supposed to be strong. But are we supposed to be strong always? Are we? You are feeling sad. They tell you to eat and move on. It's supposed to solve your mental health problem. And the people who taught us this, our parents, our grandparents, and don't get me wrong, they are not evil people. They were just teaching us what they know. To them, they felt they were teaching us emotional resilience. But no, they were actually teaching us emotional avoidance. And avoidance does not make things disappear. It makes them show up in different ways in our body. I'm talking about physical health, in our relationships, in your anger, anxiety. Because the feelings that you don't process, you carry it, you go around with it, but it's there. It did not go anywhere. It's locked up inside of you. So reason number 2, we've come to see mental illness as a spiritual warfare. Now I want to be very careful here, because I know that most of you listening to me are people of faith. And I'm not here to attack your faith. I'm not here to tell you that prayer does not work. I'm here to talk about the fact that we cannot carry every mental health struggle and put it in the spiritual category. When we carry every mental health issue and make it spiritual, that is where we are denying people the opportunity to get the practical help that they need and they ought to get. Depression, as we know it, is not always a demon, because we make it look like depression is the spirit of sadness and you are not allowed to be sad. But sometimes depression is a chemical imbalance in your brain. What about anxiety? Anxiety is not always the spirit of fear, and it is not lack of faith. It is your nervous system that has been shaped by years of stress and trauma, responding in a way that it has learned to protect you best. And all these are medical conditions. Like any other medical condition, you use medical intervention, you use psychological intervention. Just like if somebody has a broken leg, you don't pray that the broken leg will go away. No, you take them to the hospital, you put a cast on the leg, and maybe you pray along for them to get well. So why can't we do the same for our mind? Why can't we give our mind the exact intervention that it needs? So what I'm trying to say here is that faith and psychology, they are not enemies. They can work side by side, and they should work side by side. Because when we deny people the exact solution they need, that's where we lose people. When we over spiritualize everything, that's where we lose people in fighting the battle of mental health. So reason number 3, and this one is actually underrated. The reason is that most of us don't know what it looks like. You don't know what anxiety looks like in practical. You don't know what depression looks like. It's not that people are avoiding to get help. Yes, there's the shame aspect of it, that people are ashamed to get help, but most people don't actually know that what they are experiencing has a name. They don't know that waking up every morning feeling exhausted, even when you've had a long night's rest, but you wake up, you are still tired, you are still exhausted. Do you know that that could be depression disguising as tiredness? You don't. Do you know that that's snapping that you snap at everybody around you when you are overwhelmed? That could be a trauma response. That racing thought, that tight chase that you have sometimes, that could be anxiety, but you don't know. And I'm not blaming you, I've been there too. So what I'm trying to say is that we need to understand what this thing looks like practically, especially in our own context, in our own cultural context. We need to know what depression looks like in Nigeria, how it disguises itself. So another thing we are going to be talking about is what this silence is actually taking from us. The cost of this silence. The silence is costing us a lot in our relationship, in our families, in our productivity. I want us to look at it. Imagine how many Nigerian marriages do you know that are going through a lot right now? And these are two people that love each other so much. But the man is shutting down because nobody taught him how to express emotional pain. So what he does, instead of addressing the issue, is he works longer hours, he shuts down, he's not communicating the way he should with the wife. And the wife, on the other hand, because she's anxious, she's nagging, she's complaining, and it looks like she's difficult to please. But these are people that are going through things and they don't have the right language to explain what they are feeling. So instead of them to address what is going on, they start complaining about everything and anything. They complain about the dishes, they complain about money, who did not call this person, like, but the main issue is deeper than this. The main issue on ground is deeper than what they are doing. So when we are talking about mental health issues, it's not just a personal problem. It reflects in different ways. As parents, the trauma that you did not process, you pass down to the next generation. And these children grow up thinking this is how it should be done. They think this is what adulthood is about. So imagine a child that grew up and saw the mom went through a lot of things, maybe in the marriage or carrying the weight of being a wife, and she did not look for the right help. That child too will grow up thinking that as a wife, I'm supposed to suffer in silence. But it shouldn't be. A child that grew up in a household that they are always shouting and nagging, that child grow up to be always alert. He or she, her mental nervous system never shuts down. The child is always alert, and later it reflects in an adult's life as anxiety and all of that. So what I'm trying to say is that mental health challenge is something we need to look into. Let's address the real problem. This is not a blame game. This is biology. I'm trying to explain your psychology to you. I'm trying to explain what goes on in your inner world to you, that these things need to be addressed. And yes, they can be addressed. You are not supposed to carry this pain alone. You are not supposed to go around with this unprocessed trauma and all. Yes, it's common in our environment, but it's not normal, and you should not normalize it. So on this couch, we are going to be naming things the right name that they are, and we are going to be getting the solution. So what are we going to do about it? Number one, we are going to start by telling ourselves the truth. You are going to be honest with yourself and ask yourself, how am I really doing? I'm not talking about the Instagram version of yourself. I'm not talking about the version that you portray at work, that you perform in front of people. I mean, be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, sit down and examine yourself. How are you really doing today? The answer may be that I'm not doing so good, and there's no problem with that, because now we are working with the truth. Now you know exactly what you feel inside, and now that you know it, we can now look for the solution. Another thing we are going to be doing on this part is that we are going to give things the right language. We are going to name it, because if you don't know what you are feeling inside, that those feelings have a name, you will not even know that you need help. So we are going to name it, and in subsequent videos we are going to be looking at each topic. We'll treat anxiety, depression, trauma, all of that, insomnia, all of that. We're going to be looking at it individually. And as time goes on, we'll be having beautiful and intellectual guests on the show. We'll have professors, lecturers, colleagues in psychology too, that are going to help me explain, or join me to explain these things to you in practical terms. Now, I'm not talking about the textbook version that this is what, when you ask ChatGPT tell you depression is these are the symptoms. No, we are going to be talking about it in the Nigerian context. How does this thing manifest itself? We'll also be looking at getting help. We'll normalize getting help, because therapy is not for mad people. And at this point, I think we should print that on a t-shirt so that everybody will see it and read that therapy is not for mad people. Therapy is for everybody that has a mind, and we all do have a mind. So it is, I'm not saying you should all go for therapy, but at some point in life, there are some experiences that you go through that requires you to sit down with someone. When we're talking about therapy is not as dramatic as you think it is. It is you sitting down in a safe space with a trained professional in a confidential, no judgment environment, that you can be able to freely express what you are feeling. That's all the therapy does, help you walk through your feelings. So it's not as dramatic as we paint it to be, and it is not for mad people. The last thing we are going to look at today is the fact that we need to start talking. Now, talking may sound too common, but I want us to practicalize it. Look into your circle right now. Who is that one person that you can be a little bit honest with? That one person that you can still share your emotions and what you are feeling inside with. It does not need to be that you go and expose all your secrets. It does not need to be that you just start telling everybody what is going on in your life. No, it's just one person that you can be a little bit honest with. That you just like, see, I'm not feeling too well today. It's you just being honest. And two things happen when you are honest. Number one, you break the isolation, and that's the most dangerous part. When you are going through anything in isolation, it is very dangerous. So when you tell somebody, you break the isolation. And number two is that you also give that person an permission, invitation to also be open and honest with you. So you see that how that works. It's like gradually both of you are more honest with each other, and that's how culture is being shifted. That from you being ashamed of expressing your emotion to you being able to voice out, even if it's to call the person, just rant, you'll be relieved of that emotional stress that you are going through. So before you go today, before we call it a day, I need something from you. I need you to share this episode with someone in your life right now. That person that you know that will find this episode useful. Just send it to them that I think of you when I was watching this. Who is that Tommy in your life that you know that is going through something and is not being open with their emotions? Send this episode to them. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mind this week. Drink water, rest, and be a little more honest with yourself and with people around you. And I'll see you in the next episode.